Mother relay, we're covering today's top boxing news.
Do not like to avenge your losses. I've beaten you as an amateur.
You've beaten me as an amateur?
Yes, I have beaten you as an amateur.
We've never boxed.
I've beaten you in the World Championships
When?
in
You
2012.
never boxed me. You boxed Becky. Becky Price, not Lauren Price.
Sweet.
Things are getting awkward. Things are getting chippy between Natasha Jonas and Lauren Price. About a week out from their fight this upcoming Friday, Natasha says she thinks Michaela Mayer is a better fighter than Lauren. Better on paper, more proven perhaps, but you know what they say, there's more to boxing than what you see on paper. And if you've actually seen Lauren in action, you'll know she's not just a threat to Natasha, she's a threat to Michaela too, a threat to everybody at or around these weights. More specifically Natasha though, since Tasha's going to be the one that fights her in a few days. Lauren says that this is not the fight that Natasha wanted. I happen to agree with her due to reports that they were exploring a Michaela Mayer rematch, but for whatever reason, it didn't happen. Likely, both teams didn't like the money. You know, Michaela would have wanted a sizable amount to go back to the United Kingdom where she had been fighting up until that point and having no luck in doing so. I think she got robbed in the Jonas fight. And when you think about that, she probably wanted something substantial to have to go back. And of course, Natasha, the defending champion, the unified champion, she would have wanted something substantial too. That's probably why the rematch didn't happen. Well, you don't think they're giving Lauren something substantial? Oh, I do. But it's a different kettle of fish with Lauren because they're invested in Lauren, invested in her development. They want her to be the Welsh Katie Taylor. So if they have to pay to play, they're willing to. You say that they're invested in Lauren like they're not invested in Natasha. It's not to say they never were invested in Natasha. That's saying that at 40 years old, in the twilight years of her career, they may be more invested in a younger fighter with more upside and more good years left than they are invested in Natasha, who sports a professional record of 16 wins with 2 losses, 1 draw, 9 knockouts, having been knocked out once. In 19 professional fights. That lone knockout defeat was many, many years ago at the hands of Brazil's own Vivian Obanoff. Since then, Natasha has rebounded, and rebounded in a big way. She's a champion, has been, at 154, now unified at 147. She'll be facing unbeaten Lauren Price in what is this battle of the Southpaws. Lauren, the considerably less experienced fighter of the two, 8-0 with 2 KOs. She hasn't been in there with the kind of girls that Natasha has been in there, that Natasha has fought, and yet I heavily favor Lauren Price to win the fight because time and size is on her side. Last in action in December of last year when she fought 2 times, fought in May, then fought again in December, beat the brakes out of former undisputed champion Jessica McCaskill, then knocked out, then unbeaten Bexy Matias. I anticipate this Friday she's gonna knock out Natasha. Say that with a heavy heart, because I like Natasha, but between Lauren Price's natural size and speed and athleticism, I just don't think a 40-year-old Natasha Jonas will be able to keep up with her. It's not often. There aren't that many girls you could pick to beat Natasha Jonas even at 40 years old, but this is one of the few. Remember that Natasha Jonas is not a natural welter or junior middle, these divisions where she has campaigned. She is a smaller fighter that moved up in weight. She started out at 130 pounds, whereas Lauren, you could see the difference in their build, in their size. Lauren is a natural welterweight. She's naturally bigger, lightning fast. Too fast, I think, for a 40-year-old Natasha Jonas, and they're both southpaws. Lauren's power's coming along. We saw that in her last fight. Her last 2 fights, her power is coming along, transitioning from an amateur point style to a pro style, intended to inflict damage and incapacitate the opponent. She's strong. And so is Natasha Jonas. Natasha has always been a strong puncher. At 130, at 154, subsequently 147. The difference is that even though they're both strong, power only counts as much as your ability to land. And I think Natasha will struggle to land anything of substance on Lauren Price. She's too fast, too light on her feet, moves too much. She's too herky-jerky. Lauren's gonna wear her out. Underneath it all, I think Natasha Jonas knows it, which is why the buildup has been somewhat awkward and tense, seemingly mistaking Lauren Price for another girl by the same surname. That's nerves, man. That's knowing that you could be facing certain defeat very soon. Price, by way of knockout, is the pick. This Friday on Sky Sports, Peacock, if you're in the United States. Think Lauren's gonna knock Natasha out. Men's lightweight news ahead of tonight's pay-per-view. Former Showtime executive Stefan Espinoza said Tank's stardom keeps growing. Tank vs. Rowley was the number 3 highest grossing event at the Barclays Center in history, behind only Bad Bunny and the Rolling Stones. That's a Barclays Center record, not a national record or a world record. It's tantamount to a personal best in a gym setting. Espinoza continued, Tank vs. Roach has surpassed Rowley and Bad Bunny and now ranks as the number 2 highest grossing event ever at the Barclays Center. Too bad he's retiring. Number of stories happening in the background of this weekend's pay-per-view. Boxing insider Rick Glacier says no one has seen Leonard Ellerbe around Tank in New York all fight week. It sounds like Leonard will again say he's sick. In reality, Tank has jettisoned Ellerbe Gonzo. I wouldn't be surprised. He just doesn't have much use for Leonard now that he's not a Mayweather Promotions fighter. The registered promoter for the show, the guy at the helm of the promotion, is Tom Brown of TGB. He's the one doing all the heavy lifting, all the legwork, so when that's the situation, what do you need from Leonard? Somebody to make the coffee and bagels? Leonard was never capable at the job that he was assigned at Mayweather Promotions. All he really was a glorified towel boy riding Floyd Mayweather's coattails in his heyday for some short-lived success. He was CEO at Mayweather Promotions, subsequently stepping down, likely to continue his involvement in Gervonta Davis's career. After Gervonta left Floyd Mayweather, Leonard Ellerbe followed. But it would seem that Gervonta has no use for him. And according to boxing insider Rick Glacier, he's been MIA all fight week. According to Rick, it's because he's been cast aside, casted away. He's been jettisoned. Veteran content creator Boxing Ego took to his social media to hype up this weekend's fight, saying, notice today there are people picking Lamont Roach to beat Gervonta Davis. If Tank wins, they'll revert back to saying that Tank's resume is thin, he needs to fight quote-unquote somebody, but they picked guys like Ryan, Pitbull, and Frank Martin. Yeah, I didn't pick any of those guys to beat Gervonta Davis. Now, Roach to beat him, LMAO. Be honest, ever since this fight was announced, I have not seen an overabundance of individuals going with Lamont Roach to win this weekend's fight. What I think is that some would like to see that, but they're not actually betting on it, and that's why so many people are critical of this fight, because to a lot of them, this is another foregone conclusion fight where you already know the outcome. So what the hell is Boxing Ego doing? What is he talking about? What he's trying to do is create an illusion preemptively that there were people picking Lamont Roach. I don't know who he's talking about. Point them out. Think about how bizarre it is to defend this fight, to defend this opponent choice, to then turn around and lambast anyone who might be picking him to win. So is he a good fighter or not? If he's that overmatched, then why should anybody pay $80 to see this card? We already got more in terms of pick'em fights last weekend for much less. It's all about protecting Gervonta Davis's image at a time where he's being criticized by a lot of people. That's why Boxing Ego is pretending that there's this overabundance of individuals going with Lamont Roach to win. That's why Stefan Espinoza is talking about a Barclays Center record, which isn't a national record or a world record. The guy who holds the indoor attendance record for putting the most asses in the most seats is Canelo. Guy who sold about 650,000 pay-per-view buys with his last fight. Do you think Gervonta's gonna do those kind of numbers with this one? No. His acolytes are working overtime to try and preserve and protect his image. The story just the other day, Gervonta Davis claims that they sent Shakur Stevenson a contract.
So, speaking of Shakur, he said that you lied about sending him the contract. What do you have to say about that?
No, there was never a contract. I never said there was a contract.
You didn't, but Gervonta Davis did.
Okay.
Yeah, there were some, very preliminary discussions, with PBC. But, they didn't go very far because, the reality, it never went anywhere near a contract.
Tell me that you're protecting Gervonta Davis's image without telling me you're protecting his image after you conduct an interview, upload it to your channel, then take it down because you realized how it made Gervonta Davis look. made him look like he was a liar. Oh, you scramble on Twitter searching for any account that may have uploaded that snippet, citing copyright infringement to prevent it from circulating. Why would you not want people to see that? You did the interview. Why would you all of a sudden take it down? I had one guy who goes by the name Malcolm Bird try to play defense attorney for Gervonta, saying, lying or a miscommunication? To which I replied, lying. He speaks English, doesn't he? He said they sent Shakur a contract. Stefan says no such thing happened. And they're on the same team, aren't they? Stefan says they never even came close to drawing up a contract, let alone sending one out like Gervonta Davis claimed. And when Gervonta said that, guys like you ran with it. Used it against Shakur Stevenson. Lambasted him for a contract he never even got. While you're doing your best impersonation of Johnny Cochran, if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. How about you get off his dick? And mine. Trying to play defense attorney? He got caught in a lie, and it's plain as day, which makes him look bad, and now you guys are working overtime to protect his image. What seems like a full-time job for you guys, having to try and speak for him, act as a translator. He speaks English, doesn't he? Said they sent a contract. Stefan said they didn't. Who's lying? Who even cares? Gervonta Davis is vehemently against fighting Shakur Stevenson. He's made that crystal clear, along with this being his final year in the sport of boxing. So why are you working so hard to preserve his image when he's about to walk away? He's leaving anyway. The red flags, the signs that he might be serious about retiring this year, it's what Rick Glacier said. All of a sudden, Leonard Ellerby's not there to support Gervonta Davis, to promote him, after leaving Mayweather Promotions to stay involved in Gervonta Davis's career. Leonard was missing in action? Gervonta might have got rid of him. And what might be his final year in the sport of boxing, he's trying to keep as much of his own money as possible, and he doesn't need extra hands in the cookie jar. If you're Gervonta Davis, what do you need from Leonard Ellerby when it's TGB promoting the show? They're doing all the heavy lifting, all the legwork, so what would you need from Leonard?
A warm towel, perhaps.
Cup of coffee, maybe a shoulder rub, back massage. And finally, in men's super lightweight news, another look at the back-and-forth exchange between the two champions, Teofimo Lopez and Richardson Hitchens, how Teofimo chose to end that conversation, saying, "We can squabble afterwards, you charcoal stick-looking mofo." It's more of the same from Teofimo. And the reactions to that are pouring in. DAZN's Ade Oladipo said, "I'm sorry, is this shit just being allowed from Teofimo? Are we accepting him just talking reckless like this as the norm now? What the hell is going on? This is blatantly racist." It would seem so, between what he said at Top Rank about black fighters to sending Keyshawn Davis watermelon and bananas ahead of his fight, to this. It would seem that Teofimo Lopez is a bit of a bigot, even after Terrence Crawford pressed him about it and uploaded the video that was about a week ago.
What up with it, baby? Hey, tell him what you told me. What I tell you? What you doing it for? Oh, promotion, baby. All right. So I ain't gotta fuck him. I ain't gotta fuck him up. But we should spar. I ain't gotta fuck him up. You should spar. Come on, I want to spar with you though. All right, how about that? We clap it up? All right, bet. We out there.
I don't presume to be an expert in race relations or body language, but Teofimo looked nervous to me. Looked like he was walking back everything that he said, citing promotion. He's doing it all in the name of promotion. Oh. Two things can be true at the same time. They can. It could be that he saw Ryan Garcia, the attention that he got for his racist tirade, and decided to take a page out of his playbook, but that doesn't change that he's a bigot himself. No? Otherwise, why would you go in that direction? Why would you choose this method to promote yourself? If that weren't some piece of you, some piece of yourself that you're getting across. When he complained to Top Rank that they weren't promoting him enough and that they can keep their black fighters, I don't think that he did that in the name of promotion. I think that he was letting off some steam. He was frustrated, and that's what came out. He took that and ran with it. That's what I think. I think he's a bigot. What I think is he looks down on black fighters in a very general sense. I think he looks down on black people. Now, how much you want to let that offend you all depends on your worldview and how you look at other people of another denomination. But I definitely think he's a bigot, and I definitely think there is something genuine about what he's doing. For years now in the sport of boxing, we've seen all manner of shenanigans in the name of promotion, would be promotion. But if you're not actually going to fight Keyshawn, you're not actually going to share the ring with him, then what are you promoting?
Yourself?
As what? Karl Marx? If this is all in the name of promotion, but it's not promotion for an actual fight with a Shakur or a Keyshawn, then what are you promoting? If this is in the name of promotion. It's a poor excuse from Teofimo and a lazy evaluation from outsiders looking in. When people show you who they are, believe them. There are a million ways to promote yourself. You could promote yourself as a New Yorker, a Floridian, an Honduran.
We did try that.
None of which made him all that big a draw. Maybe you can promote yourself as a guy who likes to bang stewardesses.
That's relatable.
Or a guy who's going through a nasty divorce, which is even more relatable. That there are a million ways you can sell yourself to the general public, the boxing community at large, before you decide on this and decide to go in this direction. No, if you're going in this direction, it's because this is a part of you and it's something that you're already comfortable with behind closed doors.
Is it the end of the world?
Not necessarily. There are any number of bigoted individuals of every race, creed, and denomination. Teofimo is just another. However, given the enemies that he's making and the direction that he's going in a sport of boxing, you stand a very high probability of losing not just once, but twice, and sometimes even more than that. So that when you do, all the people that you have so offended on your way up will be the same people you pass by on your way down. Don't look for sympathy.
I think I heard Evander Holyfield say that.
So just imagine that the same Teofimo Lopez that has been getting away with all this monkey business for all these months ends up losing to an Arnold Barboza, for example, or a Richardson Hitchens.
Don't look for sympathy.
Because you'll get none. You've gone out of your way to offend a lot of people, and you claim that it's all in the name of promotion, but what if it works? And what if you do actually ruffle their feathers?
You know, they say that's what Floyd Mayweather did.
That he deliberately played the bad guy so that people would pay to see him lose. And needless to say, he made a lot of money with that strategy. But Teofimo is no Mayweather in terms of drawing power or skill set. Thus, taking that same approach,
It may not work for you as well as it worked for him.
so that when it doesn't, don't look for sympathy because you'll get none.
You think Teofimo's gonna go the rest of his career and not lose another fight?
Karma's a bitch.